Are you in your 40s and just struggling to lose weight? Metabolism feels sluggish. The things you used to be able to eat, they just don't agree with you anymore. They stick to you. I literally look at a carb these days and feel like I'm gaining weight. If you relate to this, I want to tell you how I've worked through it and how I also lost 50 pounds after my pregnancy with my daughter, Lily. My name is Joanna Pallante. I'm a mom with a passion for holistic living. So I wanted to share with you my experience. I am 42 years old, and every year it definitely gets to be a little bit more challenging as far as staying fit and toned and just finding that balance in life, right? I love to go out to eat and I like to enjoy myself. I definitely am someone who believes in the 80-20 rule. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you have to, do all these crazy things to lose weight, but I'm going to share what works for me to stay fit as a mom who also has a career and very limited time throughout the day to focus on these things. So let's jump right in. Working out. I am addicted to working out, and I have no shame in saying this. I do not feel right if I don't go to the gym. I'm very fortunate I have a gym in the building where I live, but I think even if you don't have that luxury, there are ways to find things that you love and just do them every single day, whether it's walking, hiking, yoga, whatever your thing is. Find something that you love because it's going to make it that much easier to do. I love strength training. Another thing that I do is Pilates. I did it throughout my pregnancy. And for fun, I might, play tennis and things like that. One thing that has been critical in my fitness journey was getting a fitness watch. So I will set my Apple Watch. That's what I use. I know some other people like, the Aura ring and things like that. Whatever your preference may be, my Apple Watch is key. So every morning I put it in fitness mode. I set it to strength training and I set a goal. My absolute minimum is 300 active calories. Ideally more than that, but I set 300 as a baseline. I'm trying to get 300 active calories in by 9 a.m. the latest. And I think that this is critical because if you set that goal and you go to the gym, then you have something to work for, right? So for me, I do a balance of cardio plus weights. So I might just hit the treadmill, try to do a mile. Another day I might hit the Stairmaster, but whatever it is in that hour, I want to hit my minimum threshold of 300 active calories. That may vary for you, for males versus females. It could be a different number, but for me, that's what I use to hold myself accountable. So my second non-negotiable for fitness that has been a game changer for me is the cold plunge. I am addicted to the cold plunge, and I am somebody who hates the cold. I moved away from New York City because I literally hated the cold. I live in LA, as you can see, beautiful, sunny almost every day here. I forced myself to get in the cold plunge one day, and it's such a mental life hack. If you can get in that cold water, the water I get in is 39 to 41 degrees. If you can power through that, then you can basically power through anything else throughout the day. I try to do this at 6:30 in the morning. I warm up in a sauna for about 5 minutes just to get my body kind of warm for that contrast. And then I get in that 40-degree water. I don't think about it. Sometimes it feels colder than others, but the main takeaway from it is that when I get out of that plunge, my body is just in this mode where it's activated. And I go in the gym and I see such a difference in my workout. So I use it as a boost. I think it helps me stay sharp and focused, and it just like revs up the engine so that when I run a mile on the treadmill, I'm going to perform a little bit better than I would have without that plunge in the morning. So that's how I use the plunge. I typically stay in for about 3 minutes. I don't really think that there's much of a medical or physical benefit, I should say, going in for more than 5 minutes. So if you can get yourself in a cold shower or something that will just kind of turn your body on like that, I think it's definitely worthwhile. So for me, the food part was everything. There were a lot of things that I used to get away with in my 20s and 30s. And once I hit 40, it was just game over. So I would start my day with a bagel some mornings, which I still love, a croissant. I mean, I'm a sucker for those really good carbs, but if you're serious about losing weight and you're stuck in a rut like I was, you have to cut back on those things. Even just your morning coffee. If you are getting some kind of latte from Starbucks or any of these drinks with sweeteners, you're not having coffee, you're having a dessert. So cutting those back You don't have to wipe them out entirely, but making that change, making it a real effort throughout your week, you are going to see better results. So food is absolutely essential. I try to eat whole foods. I never touch processed foods, very, very, very low sugar. But I have a balanced life. As I mentioned earlier, I like to go out to dinner. I like to do those things, but it basically revolves around the golden 80-20 rule when it comes to fitness and health. So you can indulge in those things, but if you know you're going out to a big dinner or something like that at night, try to just scale it back during the day, because no matter what gimmicks people are trying to sell you, Ozempic, this, a pill, whatever it may be, it all comes down to consistency. And if you can make those conscious choices throughout the day and stay in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. If you're not in a calorie deficit, you're not going to lose weight. So before we go on, if you feel like some of these points are sticking with you and maybe things that you want to implement in your life, I just wanted to mention that I have two things that might be of interest to you. One is a coaching program. So I would love to help empower you to hit your goals the way that I did. I know what it feels like to just be stuck and not feel your best. And I really believe that once you get your body optimized, it just translates to every aspect of your life. So you can book a coaching call with me. We can talk one-on-one about what you're struggling with, and I can suggest ways to help you based on what helped me. Another thing that I also have available for free is my guideline to how I lost 50 pounds after pregnancy. It took me 8 months to lose all the baby weight. So I will share that with you. Even if you aren't going through pregnancy, I think that the things that I implement in my day-to-day lifestyle can really help you. So click on the link below for that free guide and let me know if there's anything else that I can answer for you as far as your fitness and health. Okay, so if you are following that 80-20 rule for your diet, another thing that I think is critical to help you reach those fitness goals are going to be your supplements. So personally, I take in the morning on an empty stomach, I start my day off with an electrolyte powder. So I put that in my water. I used to go straight into coffee. That's a no for me these days. I start my day with the water. I aim for 60 ounces of water. Usually you're supposed to drink basically half of your weight. So I'm 120 pounds. I drink about 60 ounces of water as my baseline goal. So in addition to that, what I also really like are these aminos by Gary Brecka. They're by the brand Body Health, and it will help you hit your protein goals. So if you're struggling to hit your protein goals, which everyone's talking about these days, these aminos, they come in different flavors. I like the chocolate and the mixed berry flavor. They have the vanilla flavor. So you can get some variety. I put that in my water. And if you get a scoop of that, it's the equivalent of eating 30 grams of protein. So that's a great way to start your day. I try to do that before I make it to the gym. And then you're going to balance out your blood sugar and not spike it like I used to do when I was eating these bagels in the morning. So just basically negating all of the good I was doing in the gym, right? So if you can shift yourself into some of these supplements that I talked about, I think you'll also see some great results. I've also been taking creatine after my workout because I guess as you age, that starts to go down. So I've been supplementing with that as well. So your supplements will be important in your weight loss journey. My last two pieces of advice that I would give you go hand in hand. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm a mom. I have a rambunctious 2-year-old. Love her, but she is a handful these days for sure. So one thing that I really have become a big fan of is waking up at 5:30 in the morning. So I wake up at 5:30 because my daughter sleeps until 7. The 5:30 wake up gives me a jump start on my day before I spend time with her. So at 5:30, I take a quick shower, head to my plunge, my sauna, I decompress, I check some of my emails, and then I get my gym out of the way as early as possible so that excuses don't come into play, right? If you're booking a 10 a.m. workout or an 11 a.m. fitness class, if you're a busy working mom like myself, things are going to come in the way and distract you, and you might miss that workout. So I hold myself accountable by going to the gym every day, ideally before 7 a.m. so life doesn't get in the way. That's one thing. Another thing that goes right into that 5:30 wake-up call is cutting back on alcohol. I've always had work-life balance where we go out to dinners and, I'll have a drink here and there. I'm a social drinker, but since pregnancy, I've really cut back on it. And I think it's because when you're putting in all this work to lose weight and you look at the calories in these sugary drinks, if you get any kind of margarita, I don't care if they call it a skinny margarita or whatever they're mixing in your drink or whatever wine and things you might be having, they will add up on the calorie side. And some of these drinks have sugars. It's going to take your body a lot of time to break those down. So you're basically negating all of that good hard work that you're putting in. So the alcohol for me is It's something that I enjoy in moderation, maybe 1 or 2 drinks a week. That's it. I enjoy a nice glass of red wine. I like the way it pairs with the meal, but I've cut out all of the sugary, hard alcohol drinks that used to appeal to me back in the day. Once in a blue moon, maybe an espresso martini if it's made right. Those can be nice, but everything else to me is just a setback if you are trying to hit a fitness goal. I think if you follow and implement these things in your life as often as you possibly can, you will see the results. And I know the struggle, and I know what it's like as you get older. Being in your 20s, it's a whole different animal than your 40s. So I am here to help, and just let me know what takeaways you have from this and any questions you may have as far as your fitness journey. If you had any good takeaways from this video, make sure to like and subscribe, leave comments for me. I go through each and every one of them. I'm happy to answer any of your questions, and make sure to click the next video. I have a ton of health and fitness content, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks.